Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Andrea and I have been selling on Etsy for 8 years. You can see we're in my Etsy shop. This is my shop where all the work gets done. I have an embroidery business on Etsy, and so I really thought that it'd be fun to do a new series. I think the series is going to be about 3 to 4 videos, a new series all about how to start an embroidery business on Etsy. So like I said, I have been selling on Etsy for 8 years. During those 8 years, I have been embroidery specific for 7.5. So I started my business with a Cricut, and then I quickly moved into embroidery about 4 months in, I think. And so I have been running an embroidery business on Etsy for 7.5 years, basically. So I thought it'd be really fun to kind of share my expertise and show you guys how to run an embroidery business on Etsy if that is something you're interested in. And that's what we're going to talk about through this series. Through this series, I am going to assume that anybody watching already knows how to embroider. I'm not going to be talking about embroidery specific things like how to hoop an item and how to thread a machine. This is not an embroidery class. This is more so how to take your hobby, if that is your hobby, of embroidery and turn it into a business on Etsy. So this is not so much embroidery specific as far as like the technical how-to of how to embroider, though if you have those questions, I'm sure I can answer them. This is more of how to specifically run an embroidery business on Etsy. Like I mentioned, this will be a series of videos for those who are interested, completely deep diving into all the embroidery specific things and even just some general Etsy things, but all the embroidery specific things that you need to have an embroidery based Etsy business. So each of the videos, I'm thinking there's going to be 4. Each of the videos will be posted once a week for the next 4 weeks. And so if you are interested in this, make sure to subscribe to this channel and check out the whole series, just because they're all going to build on each other. And so you're definitely going to want to check out the whole series, because by the end of it, you will have a fully fleshed out embroidery business on Etsy, which is really, really rad. So the very first step into turning your embroidery hobby, because this is kind of like who I'm talking to. So the people that are already embroidering, they know how to embroider, they have a machine, but they want to take that hobby and turn it into a business on Etsy. The very first step in order to do that is to choose your product lineup and establish your brand. When it comes to embroidered products, there is truly endless options as to what you can sell on Etsy, as far as what niche you can go into and product ideas. Seriously, my brain gets inundated with ideas that we could sell in our shop, but it is really important to narrow it down, and which we're going to talk about today. But just to get your wheels turning, if you're like, I have no idea what I want to sell, I just have this machine and I really want to turn it into a business. Some ideas that I have written down: you could do custom embroidered hoodies. Those are selling really well on Etsy right now. Specifically, I'm thinking of ones that have the Roman numeral dates or the outline of their dog. That is selling really well right now. Really, any custom embroidered hoodie or sweatshirt is selling really well on Etsy right now. Another huge market is personalized wedding gifts and bridesmaids gifts. Those are always a good market because people are warm buyers whenever they are shopping for their wedding, because usually they're already spending some money and they've already budgeted for it. And so very warm buyers whenever you're talking to brides or bridesmaids. So anything wedding related would be a really good niche. Monogram clothing and accessories, which is what we sell at our shop. We do all monogram clothing and accessories. And so we have a very preppy brand, preppy, fun, young, bright brand. And that would be a really good niche. Kids clothing would be a super good niche, targeting everything towards children and doing onesies and sweatshirts and all the things. That would be a really good niche to get into. If you wanted to go completely away from clothing, you could definitely do a home decor niche and do embroidered pillows and placemats and table runners. Oh man, my brain just gets inundated with ideas, guys. And then the other thing you could do is accessories only. So I'm talking bags, wallets, laptop cases. Oh man, I could go on for keychains. You can do a lot of stuff. So the options really are endless, you are only limited by what you are able to come up with in your brain. Like, seriously, the options for embroidery are truly, truly endless. And so definitely you will have no shortage of ideas when it comes to your deciding what you want to sell for your embroidered shop. One piece of advice I always give throughout any stage in business, whether it's you're focusing on your keywords or your listing photos or your where you want to spend your time marketing, any stage in business, I always recommend to double down on what's already working. If you hang out on this channel, you'll hear that literally all the time because I believe it's a really I believe it's a really important thing to remember whenever you're running a business. That being said, if you are already sewing, if you already embroider and you're like, say you're not the person that just got an embroidery machine, say you've had one for years, you sew some like as a hobby, but you want to turn it into a business, you likely already have a few items that you're known for, even if being known for them is just in your friends and family circle or people that have you maybe posted on Facebook, you're likely already known for a few of your items. So I definitely recommend when you start your Etsy shop, doubling down on what you're already good at, what you're already known for, what you already have the system in place for, what you already know how to make, and you know where to source all the blanks and all that kind of stuff. Double down on that and see if you can turn that into a fully fleshed out business and brand, which we're going to talk about the brand next. But I definitely recommend if you're someone who is already making a lot of product and say you're always making baby beanies for newborn gifts and like you've always done it on the side, but now you want to turn it into a business, I would steer towards that direction because you're already known for that, and do not discount the credibility that you've already stored up. So once you know what you are going to sell, so if you do not know what you're going to sell and you want to like work through the series as a checklist, which I actually really think would be a good idea because there's a week between each one. It gives you a lot of time to fully flesh out what you want to do and work with these little like lessons, I guess. I don't really know how to call it, but if you want to treat this video, this series as like a homework thing, the homework assignment would be to choose what you sell. And so if that's you, hit pause on this video right now, grab a notebook, jot down some ideas that you have for your Etsy shop, and just kind of get like a brain dump of what you're already good at and which idea I mentioned, which there are more, but which idea I mentioned that really speaks to your soul and which one you'd be excited to sell. Once you have your products, once you know what you want to sell on Etsy, we then need to shift and establish your brand vibe and your brand voice. What I mean by a brand vibe, and this just sounds so like out there, but I do want you guys to try and take it in practically, is the vibe that your brand gives off to your customer. So I think that brand vibe is best explained through examples. And so I'm just going to talk about two fast food restaurants that if you're watching this, you've probably heard of them, like McDonald's and Chipotle. I feel like McDonald's gives off the vibe of like good-ish food, good food. It's going to be fast. It's going to be the same every time. And Chipotle gives off the vibe of like, we try new things, kind of health conscious, like anybody with a dietary restriction can eat there, and it's fresh. Very different vibes. Everything they do, it comes back to the vibes that they have established for their brand. It's extremely important that you already have your product picked out because who your product is for is going to determine your brand voice and your ideal customer and how you talk to them. I'm gonna pause right here to invite you guys to watch my free Etsy masterclass for Etsy sellers because I break down this concept of brand voice and brand vibe and ideal customer, and I do a step-by-step how to do it for your shop in the masterclass. And so if that is something that you want that resource of how to step-by-step get this done, do check out the masterclass in the link in my description. That'll be a really valuable resource for you. I break it down very in depth in that it's totally free masterclass. We are going to cover an overview now. So to choose your ideal customer, I want you to ask yourself, who is most likely to buy this product? Be very, very specific. You definitely need to know who you're selling to in order to know what kind of content and listing photos and descriptions and all this kind of stuff, which we're going to cover in the later videos in the series, what you need that to look like. Once you have that, you can choose your brand vibe. And so I want just to give you guys some examples because there are 1,000 different brand vibes. Seriously, the vibes that you could put off are endless. And so I'm thinking that if you're targeting, if your business, your product idea is best targeted towards young women, your brand might be young, bright, fun, hip. That's like what I'm getting for like my target market is young women. If your target market is someone who's hipster, your brand might be more edgy, it might be moody, your like imagery might be a little bit darker, all that sort of stuff. If you are targeting brides, your imagery might be bright and happy and your copy is going to be very excited because they're engaged. If you're targeting new moms, so you're doing newborn stuff, you're probably going to want it to be very calm and emotional and all the emotions that a new mom wants to feel when they come to your shop. I hope that that gives a little bit of an insight into how you can choose a brand voice for your shop based on what kind of product you are wanting to sell. And you definitely just want to fully flesh out your ideal customer. What are they like? Who are you talking to? And then establish your brand vibe around that. So as a recap, if this series was a homework assignment, by the end of this lesson, you should have your products picked out for your Etsy shop, your ideal customer established based on your products, and a brand vibe that has been chosen, all to attract your ideal customer to those products that you know they want. So now that you have all of that done, whenever you have all that done, it is time to set up your Etsy shop, which is what we're going to cover in depth in the next video in the series. So make sure that once you're done with all of this, you come back and check out the next video in the series, which is going to be all about how to set up your Etsy shop. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like I said, make sure to check out the masterclass and subscribe if this is something that you are really interested in. So we talk about Etsy every week on this channel, 2 videos a week. And yeah, I'm really excited for this embroidery specific series. So make sure to come back for the remaining 3 videos. And thank you so much for watching.